Waffles Incorporated Day 2. This was the epic 100th episode of Dice Camera Action, which was a big thing. Yesterday they did 4 games combined with the Acquisitions Inc. C team. And today we did one where both groups, all 8 players, played together, and Chris and Jerry both DM'd for the game. So if anybody in the chat had any questions or comments, go ahead and make them, and I'll try to address them as we go. With me today is Rena. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. You can find me at MIKO_CARINA on Twitter. I did a poll earlier, and it ended up my casual Evelyn cosplay. So here we are.
Yay!
Casual. Good.
Casual.
I want to say I do have a blonde wig in the drawer right there.
I don't have wigs. No correction. I have one wig, and it's bright red, so it doesn't work.
And also with me is Aya Golander. How are you?
Hello! I'm scared and excited.
Everyone here.
Yay!
In the chat, Adol 1004. Who is going to be summoned by Omens? 10 gold. Yeah. Okay. Let's. All right. So I asked Aya to try to recap this show. So
here we
stab
go.
and then just tag out to Rena if it gets hard. So go ahead.
So what I got is that they were in separately in different domains of dread, and were all dropped into the prime material plane into town that I cannot remember. Nightstone. Thank you. They were all dropped in the town and spent a really long time falling, and ended up in this town that was getting in the middle of the Blood Wars. So they tried to take cover in a I think it was Lathander's church in this town, and they went for cover, and everybody met up. They talked. People yelled at Van Richten because, of course, people yelled at Van Richten. And then they tried to seal the doors. Evelyn tried to make people feel better. Nobody felt better. And then the backside of the church got destroyed by a demon. Oh, no. Sorry. There was Skizix's at the front of the door. They tried to get Strix to come out. She said, Paulton pretended that she wasn't there. They left and said that the commander will take care of them. And then the commander showed up, which is a giant demon thingy that crushed through the door.
Devil, it's very important to get it correct in this case.
Yes, I always get them confused, and I apologize for that. Yes, it was what was the name of it?
Pit Fiend.
Pit Fiend, yeah. So
that's all I know. I didn't catch names.
So super powerful Pit Fiend, and they tried to fight it. And then there was a snake lady that came and tried to fight the fiend, and then there was a lot of people that showed up and started fighting, and that was the most chunk of it. And then Asmodeus showed up like way later, and offered a deal to Strix and Dia, and the only way to like get rid of this whole family feud thing is if they left their families. And Strix became a bee stinger. So I think that's how it went down. I don't remember if I missed anything. Did I miss anything?
I do know that the Devils started fighting over who would get DF because he's a Lokatha, and that would mean ascension or promotion or whatever word they used. That's another key point of the combat, but apart from that, I think.
So yeah, so at the end, Asmodeus, the ruler of the Nine Hells, you know, the ultimate archdevil, had his ruby rod with him, and it was weird. Like, okay, so Strix and DF, right? The multiverse will get destroyed if they come together. But it was like, so the solution was to make Strix a bee stinger, right? but like
Mhm.
I don't get how that works. And like, does that mean basically that souls were switched or something? So now Rosie is a Skizik or Skizix, I don't know.
I
And
don't.
is that what that means? I don't understand.
Man, I wish I watched C2.
Yeah, right.
Mm,
I think the main thing is it's like an adoption of some sort.
Yeah.
mhm,
So I think I'm not absolutely sure, but I
mm,
think Rosie ends up taking on some of her happiness and sadness and terror. So that's why the all of a sudden Strix is less scared of everything.
mm,
I'm also wondering because Perkins had mentioned that she was related to Asmodeus in a way
mhm,
through the Skizix.
mhm.
Is she a tiefling anymore?
Oh,
I mean,
that would be crazy.
that'd be crazy. And she didn't. She didn't like change physically. They would have said something, right?
No,
Probably.
but I mean, we ended right there, so
Mm-hmm.
seems like there's room. Like if they play Tuesday, Chris could pick it up right from there,
Yeah.
and whatever. But like, it's like okay. I mean, it's just like trying to guess what's gonna come out of this is really hard. Like
Yes.
she's a sorcerer. She gets her magic through just her heritage, her infernal heritage. So if that's gone and she's not linked to the Skizixes anymore, is she still a sorcerer? Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
We don't
what
know
is
where her
she?
divine soul sorcery came from at
Yeah,
all.
right.
Like, it might have been the Skizix.
And she's got and that was I really liked in this show that you actually got to see the Skizixes, or at least agents of the Skizixes, where they were.
Mm.
I think if I remember the description right, I wrote it down. Long black robes, helmet. Instead of eyes, there's like the runes. It's the symbols that she uses on her staff.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the symbols on the Skizix helmets or whatever, and their horns come out of the helmets.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh,
It's really
that's
cool.
really cool. So it's like,
It's distressing for Strix because those
Yeah.
are her symbols.
Yeah.
so does this okay? So does this mean that if it's not going to happen, but if Diath and Rosie Beestinger got together, the multiverse would explode? Is that what this means?
I don't know.
I don't. Again, I don't think it's like that. Rosie became a Skizix. Is that Strix stopped being one? Like Rosie adopted her. That's what I think it is, and that she's no longer scared because she a lot of the times that family heritage was the thing that was like bringing her down.
Mm.
Like, a lot of weight on the world. She's from what we know, she's the most powerful Skizix.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like maybe the Skizix will come after her now because they know that she disarmed them or whatever, and they're gonna start being like, hey, maybe we can't have that. We want her back. Like, she's really powerful, or whatever. It depends. See.
Ramrod says hi. Hello, Ramrod. Thank you. And Adol says, I think Strix is now Rosie's daughter, and Strix is a bee stinger.
Yeah.
Yes. And harkening back to a prior question that Adol said was, now who is going to be summoned by Omen's 10 gold piece infernal contract?
That's a good question.
Does that mean it's voided?
Some random Skizix.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah.
Mm.
The next strongest.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
And it was just like it was like a big question mark at the end, like how it felt like when Asmodeus was presenting this solution to them, he seemed to have a list of options, but he didn't get all the way through the list. He only did the first one, which was send Strix to another plane, just keep them separate.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was probably more, but Rosie jumped in there with her idea, and they just went with that, and that was it. I'm wondering like what the other options were.
My guess with Morg would be culling, just like DF. Now you're next.
or that one of them dies,
Mm.
or I don't even know. Like, there's a lot of options. Like that just like would be bad, and they would be apart. That's the main point of it, I think.
It's weird because I think it's probably linked to their souls, right? And most of Dieth's soul is in a box, right? In Sigil, right? Shemeshka owns it, right?
Yep.
So it's like, if they took Strix's soul and stuck it somewhere else, then would the multiverse be safe? Or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't. Oh, Alger Nonab. This means that Dieth is still a Lorcatha, so Shemeshka's happy box is still a thing. Yep.
Yeah.
And maybe Dieth Beast Stinger could have been an option. Yeah, I think that could have been. They actually talked about it. Like, then I guess they would have been brother and sister.
I mean, if the marriage is still a thing, is he not a Beast Stinger?
I don't know.
Because we know that's a marriage thing now. So he could.
Are they still married? Though?
Plain or white, the rings still exist.
I don't know how Vistani marriages work.
So, why did they go to Nightstone? I don't understand that.
I don't know. So weird.
It's explained why Nightstone was the choice.
And what was the deal? There was an eclipse.
Yes.
And there was demons and devils.
Yes.
And then someone stabbed a giant crystal spear out of the moon or something.
That was Cathris's patron.
Oh, that was Cathris?
Yeah, that was Cathris's patron.
That's why I forgot
0 hit points with the saying, "For your life, this." And then he came down and just ate a demon and then left.
Oh, okay. That's actually awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
He's a warlock that got like stuck with like this like ancient. He has like the ancient god demon thingy.
The chat was very helpful for this.
The ancient one, Patreon. So he like his whole thing is that he's like doesn't know what his god like what the god that he's serving is. I know that much about CT.
Let's see. Diddle fingers.
Yeah, Rosie going like this.
Yeah.
They're saying that it's not like this, but I think it's like.
I guess they're free now to have diddle fingers if they want.
Although I don't think Strix would.
No, I don't think so.
Well, at the end, it was like, her burden was lifted, and it was like a lot of her fears went away. So what does that mean? What is like Strix gonna be like now?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
How different is she gonna be? You know.
That's gonna be a lot of thinking on Holly's part, I think.
Yeah.
Like, who is she without her anxieties?
Yeah. It's gonna be really interesting, and I think that like, it's like a very, like it's really cool because like she's able to like do something completely more like explore that part of her character because she's like not dumb. She's like really capable with her hands. She can cook, she can sew. Like she's a very creative person. So like if she's not scared of everything, who is she at that core? And I think that's like really up to Holly to interpret that. We'll see, I guess.
Like calm Strix could probably be
very
a lot more powerful in her own right.
You know what's gonna be sad is if like this makes her a happy character and her and Dieth really start getting along, everything starts getting a lot better, and then something happens where it goes back. That seems like something Chris would do. Pull the rug out from under her.
Let's all hop aboard.
I will say this, like all of season 4, Chris has been like trying to like get it into like an uplifting kind of mood, like ChairCon, they got a house, like all these like little things, but like the season has been much more positive than like say season 3 where they were just panic after week, which you know it's great. Like I think it's just like you can see that he understood that everybody was getting panicked like at the end of season 3, and it was like it wasn't fun anymore. So it's kind of like taking an upswing, but you know that he's gonna bring it down at some point, probably at the end of season 4.
Oh,
Someone raided the chat.
Thank you, Renjack, for the raid. Welcome, everybody. We're discussing Dice Camera Action episode 100. It just finished, and it was the crossover with the Acquisitions Inc. group, and it was really great. They were in the middle of the Blood War somehow, and a pit fiend ripped the roof off, and they had to fight the pit fiend. So I was sitting there watching that, thinking like, because the C team is like what, 7th level, I think, and
6th or 7th,
the
yeah.
Waffles are
Yes, 7th.
10th or 11th, and I was kind of like, how's this gonna work, you know? Because the pit fiend has that aura with like a DC of 21, like that makes you frightened, but it worked out okay because he was far away when they started, and they did pretty good, right?
And they have 2 paladins, so like.
Yeah, 2 paladins.
Bonuses.
And then Strix, I think, had a really cool idea of getting the demons, involved to help them.
Oh, that was
And
so cool.
That was
they
awesome.
got a Merilith, well, a 6-armed demon lady with a snake bottom half, like chopping up the pit fiend, and it got really like, whoa, they fought a pit fiend. That's pretty good. Like episode 100, you fight a pit fiend. I think that's a really cool idea.
That's a good one.
For an episode 100, it was crazy.
Oh.
So, just lots of stuff happening.
Beat Crushers. I missed this. Last thing Jared said was, they don't hug, they embrace for the first time. I did not hear
I missed that too.
I remember it was very cute. Like it was like a quick thing, but it was adorable. It makes me real happy for them.
I guess they're gonna go back to Troll Skull Manor. Now it's gonna be like a happy little place.
If it's still there.
Warrington Munt, maybe. Yeah, right. It was sucked into Barovia.
Comes in. There was an explosion.
Yeah. I wonder if, the mist took their home. Is there like a big empty lot there where it was while it's gone, or is it going to come back like instantaneously, like it was always there?
I don't know. It feels like the mists just transported them into a different demiplane that was a map of Waterdeep. Like they kept on describing it as like a map of tourist Waterdeep.
Yeah.
So my guess is that they were just sent to a weird demiplane of dread that was based off of the Waffle Crew.
Oh, so when the mists like just brought them to a shadowy mirror of the home they live in.
Yes, that's my guess.
And the inn also, right, in Red Larch.
Yes.
That makes sense. I get that. The fact that she's not fearful of being intimate anymore, then we have a possibility of actually exploring Stryath. The last few episodes, they've been getting closer anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was going to get as intimate as people want it to be, because Strix is, not into that. Holly said canonically she's either ace or demisexual, which means that she just loves people but not sexually loves people.
Really?
And yeah.
Canonically.
Yeah.
Though she did also mention that her 50 years in Barovia might have changed that. She was exploring it, but that was a long time ago. I don't know what has been decided.
Yeah, from what I gather is that she was scared for the most part to get intimate with people, but who knows now? Although I would think that it's more gonna be like hugging, hand holding kind of thing, like school children. Honestly, I don't
Cute
think
and
she's
innocent.
the kind of character.
Adol says, I think she will be mostly the same, but cleaner.
Maybe more cleaner.
Maybe more.
She cares for herself more.
More magey, because Holly said a while ago that she can imagine her as a really cool archmage kind of in fancy robes and stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe she's gonna start to transform into that kind of Sorcerer Supreme type. I mean, if they go all the way to level 20, it's gonna be that
would be crazy.
More self-confidence will probably be a good addition to Strix right now. That's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah. I'm sorry. In the chat, I messed up the term. It's demisexual or like a romantic, something like that. I don't remember which one she said.
I thought she said asexual.
Yes, but like,
but like, after the Barovia fun times, she might have changed.
Yeah, exactly. So like, ace is what she is, and like it could be on the spectrum of ace, and I don't want to get into that, but
yeah,
that's what it is. I feel kind of like the only thing that I felt that was like a little off is that like we didn't get a lot of like Akink lore in there. Like I could follow it pretty much all the way through because DCA was the most like more like intensely focused on, and I feel like they should. I don't know, like maybe
I wanted more with Walnut and her god. Like, why does she want that ring so bad? I don't know anything about this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I suspect it has something to do with her fiance.
Strawberry.
I totally agree. I thought this was like, and I don't mean this as a complaint. The shows were awesome, but I felt like I think if I was an Acquisitions Inc. fan and not a Waffle Crew fan, then I would have watched these shows like, what's going on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There wasn't. It felt like not a lot of the Acquisitions Inc. story was involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
It was mostly like the Waffle Crew with 4 guest stars, sorta, not quite, but you know what I mean.
Maybe what that entails is that in the future there will be another crossover episodes with Inc. lore.
They did definitely seem like they were open to doing this more times, and I think that they did say. I think Anna had said yesterday that they learned they put it together and now they know what they're doing and each one will be better than the last one. So I would guess in this case, like if they had this the bee stinger thing planned from like then that kind of makes sense. Like okay, well in the end this is all about linking the two groups because they were already sort of linked with those rings.
Mm-hmm.
And now Strix is a bee stinger, and who knows what Rosie, affects what, because Asmodeus is like the devil of D&D. If he makes a deal with you, something bad is coming, or he's done something usually, right? So Strix might have got off the hook, but Rosie's probably on the hook for something, right?
Yeah. Didn't Asmodeus kept on saying things to Rosie, which Rosie is like, no, I'd prefer not. And so that makes me wonder, like, if becoming a bee stinger will give her different things than what she had.
Yeah. Yeah. Could be. I guess there's a lot of new stepbrothers and stuff now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and like watch C-Team now. I want to know more about Rosie specifically. Like she seems like such a cool idea for a character.
Yeah.
I love her character, and I've only just met her. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I love that sassy grandma.
Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah, and they would show you animated clips between the shows of scenes from their shows, so you kind of got an idea of what they were like. And some of them showed that Rosie has kids all over. There's like one kid who was a really big dude. He wasn't in school like he was supposed to be, and there's something about her being grandmother night, which sounds like a whole thing. What's this? It was 100 DCA episode. It is appropriate that it was a DCA show. I agree.
That's fair.
But I just for the Acquisitions Inc. fans, I was just kind of wondering if they were able to follow along, I guess, is what I was wondering.
Yeah.
And Captain Holly said on Tumblr that while she doesn't consider Strix a romantic anymore after Barovia, she still considers her. Oh, okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Not Avro anymore.
Huh. I was thinking, like, yesterday the shows were all about those two Vistani dark powers. And how they were trying to get together. And I thought that was going to kind of come to play today, kind of in some way influencing Strix and Dieth or Evelyn and Paulton. But it didn't, as far as I know. It did not.
I was expecting it to. My guess is that they put a few of those hooks there that ended up being obliterated when they killed the vessel of the one guy. So it didn't come to fruition as much. And so they were like, okay, part 2, devils. Let's go.
I guess so.
I mean, I think that the doubles thing was gonna happen anyway because we got the Mercy Killers in their first 2 episodes.
True.
And I think that like it's gonna come into like effect maybe like on the C team with Cthulhu's trying to find his god, being linked to Vistani stuff, so maybe he'll like dig into that and find stuff they shouldn't.
And Walnut has one of the rings with Evelyn's soul in it, right?
Yes.
And that
Cthulhu
she needs that ring to free her god from imprisonment, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So now it's like they've mixed their stories to a degree. So I think we'll probably definitely see who knows, maybe eventually there'll be a live show with all of them or something, you know.
I really hope that Rosie is in the next episode. We'll find out more about like what it is like what is it mean for Strix to be a bee singer.
Yeah.
That would be
if they do a show Tuesday, maybe they will do that. Have Kate be a guest star. I know DF can't make it on Tuesday, so
this is true.
Yeah.
Don't know if they're having a show or not.
It might be heavily focused on Strix and her switch.
Yep.
Should be, yeah.
The family switch.
I have a million questions, you know what I mean? Like what just happened, you know?
Yeah.
There's like so many questions, like where do I even start with all of this?
Oh, Legacy says Chris announced the name of the Tuesday show on Twitter.
Oh,
so there is going to be a show on Tuesday.
Time to find out.
Wow.
What that is.
6 shows in 4 days. That's crazy.
Nuts.
That's crazy. Like I do the Dice Camera Action wiki. So like all yesterday I'm like typing up as I'm watching and putting them in, and then tonight I typed it up. I haven't put it in yet. Now Tuesday.
Okay, so Tuesday is what is Simon's sinister secret? Let's find out together in episode 101, Doll in the Family.
What?
Simon's sinister secret?
He's feeding something up in the attic, cookies. So
yeah, Paulson was like, "We'll talk about this later." I guess it's.
He's feeding something up in the attic.
Oh yeah, Simon attacked the pit feet. Don't run point damage.
He hit it
in the eyelid.
It was great. It was beautiful.
Oh my god!
What a good boy.
Tuesday's gonna be a. And I have no idea what his secret is.
What could it be? There's so many things.
What was Simon feed?
A cat?
There was a cat.
There was a cat.
But that's the only reason why I'm thinking it's the cat, because the cat was mentioned. What else could it be?
The cat could be somebody polymorphed.
It could be.
Demon. A little like street urchin, because Chris said that they're going to be talking about street urchins. How are they going to get back to Waterdeep?
Yeah, where's Nightstone in relation to that?
KP173J says, the little girl from the yawning portal, maybe?
Maybe.
Oh, all right, because Simon made friends at the bar.
Yeah.
So maybe one of them is a street urchin, and Simon is feeding them. They have nowhere to live. Maybe that's what that is.
That's so nice.
That would be very sweet.
Probably not what it is.
Well, I would guess maybe he's going to try to... Hey. Okay, wait. Remember a few sessions ago, they had this big fight kind of near the docks. There's all these NPCs, and it was all about the dragon treasure that's buried in the city. And there was a little girl, tiefling, with a baseball-sized beholder. Did that little girl get away, or did she die? Did she die?
I think she got away.
That maybe it's her.
The beholder died.
The beholder died.
Yeah.
I love those baseball-sized beholders, by the way. I think those are really cool.
Looking at them, I was like, "Oh,
that's a really cool idea." I just think that's like awesome. But yeah, maybe
it could be the Kenku legacy over here. A Kenku from Strix's dream.
Oh right, yeah.
But
we're on the same wavelength, legacy. I thought that too.
Yeah. So yeah, and maybe I would guess that the next show he's gonna try to steer it back towards the the story in the city. Yeah.
Political intrigue.
Yeah. Seems like he busts out this Skizzik stuff on special occasions.
When he really want to get them.
I think it's because people like it a lot. So it's like a special thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's further the plot here a little bit and get to wait for a few more months. Yay!
Maybe it's, I mean, they have their products planned out really long in advance. So, like, if there is a Planescape product coming out in a year or two, maybe it's kind of like he's giving us little teasers now, but he doesn't want to show us what the new version of Sigil is like until that it's almost time for the book to come out. We did get a look at it, and there was a train there, which really threw me for a loop on one of those live shows.
Pardon the pun?
So, yeah. It really went off the rails at that point.
Threw me going in circles there.
It was a real train wreck.
Oh, man. I wish I could give you inspiration. Beat Crushers. I think the small beholders are called gazers. Yeah, I think
there's various ones, aren't there? Like different beholders or different names.
Oh, there's a million. Yeah, I wrote a guide to beholders a few years ago in my blog. There's like a million of them. You know, I'm making the guide. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm going to write up everything there is about beholders. And then I'll write up about every single one. But then there's so much. It's like, there's no way I could do. So I just made like a list and listed which type was like. I couldn't possibly have written about every one of them. It would have been taking months of my life, you know. Back Chan, hi. Hello. Ramrod, yes. Inspiration. So, let's see. So the bulk of this show was they were in the Blood War or something, and it was like a huge battle. The beginning, actually, wait a minute. They were falling, right?
Yes.
And I couldn't tell how far they were falling, because I think Diaz just landed on his feet and he was fine, right?
Yep. But then Alton crushed Van Richten.
Can I just say that Diaz didn't make a check, and Jared was about to say that, and then he's like, never mind, don't even worry about it.
I'm just not gonna worry about that. Yeah.
I saw that face, Jared.
It was like, like Paulton used Von Richten. This is Paulton. I hate it. I hate it when Paulton does this, where he falls and he uses somebody else to break his fall.
Killed my favorite NPC, favorite guest star.
Yeah, and so he used Von Richten to break his fall, and Von Richten almost died. But it was weird. Like Diaz landed on his feet, and it was like it was a weird fall. You know, it was like I mean, like how far did they fall? Or I kind of was thinking like. Basically, did Von Richten just get hurt just because Paulton hurt him? That's kind of the feeling I got. It was like,
yeah, they were. I think that they were only falling like 30 feet or something like that. Like,
I want to say,
for a really nimble person like Diaz, it wouldn't have been a problem.
I think Von Richten gets a bad rap.
Well, in this, yes, he does.
In the very beginning of the campaign, they had gotten their Taroga reading, right? Which tells you where to go, and the group just didn't. So he sat them down and told them, you can go here to get this, go here to get this, go here to get this, right? Mm-hmm. He's the one who introduced them to D. He's the one who broke them. They were stuck in the Amber Temple, and they were like gonna die. They were this close to a TPK. He tunneled in there and broke them out. And when Strix got killed by the vampire in the Amber Temple, he brought her back to life, even though Diaz made the pact, and he could have done it as well. But like, and when Evelyn died, he's the one who helped them get her back. And it's like, and they hate him. And I'm like,
that last one is iffy, but yeah.
Why?
Because he didn't bring her back. He used her to make the rings to then save Diaz and Strix from the death curse. Paulton and Weirdo Flamebane brought Evelyn back.
My question is motivation. Like, why is he like? All right, so he's helping them in Barovia was to, kill Strahd, but like, why is he helping them now? What is the point of him like helping Evil and Dieth and Strix and Paulton not have the death curse affect them as much or whatever. Like, and like, why is he doing this? Is it just because he's like sorry because he killed Paulton's family? Is that like the reason, or like is there other nefarious purposes that he's like bringing to the table?
He's okay. He's got a curse where anybody who comes close to him supposedly is doomed, right? So he's got to keep his distance first from that. Second, he's a monster hunter, right? He wants to kill Strahd. That's like his big thing. So I get why people don't like him, but sometimes I'm like, yeah, come on, give him a break, man.
That's
I
fair.
do agree that he gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
It's mostly, I think, Paulton's hatred that kind of spears the chat and go like, get him.
Okay.
And Dieth understands that too a little bit.
If I remember Von Richten's origin right, the Vistani brought someone who was dying to him, and he couldn't save that person. So the Vistani cursed him, and then something happened with his son. That's what the Vistani abducted his son and gave him to the vampire Baron Medus, and his son became a vampire. So Von Richten couldn't save somebody's life, so they abducted his son and sent him to made him a vampire. To me, like, Von Richten didn't do anything wrong, okay? That's why, right? So what he did after that was then he went into the woods, and there happened to be a lich leading a horde of zombies, and for whatever reason they were following Von Richten, so he led them to the Vistani camp, and yeah, they killed Bolton's parents. Oh well.
So I mean, when that was introduced, they were talking like Paulton was saying that like just because they killed your family, why does it give you the permission to kill mine? Kind of thing.
That's true.
That's why. That's like the whole thing with Paulton. He's like,
it's true.
Like, and it makes sense. Like I would be pissed about it too. And
okay. Here's another thing: are the Vistani good guys? They made a pact with Strahd. Right? They're friends of Strahd. They help Strahd. They bring people into Barovia for Strahd. So, for all we know, Paulton's parents were horrible people that deserved to die. Maybe. Just maybe. Because Paulton's a chaotic neutral, he's not, he gave no second thoughts to using Falcon as a landing pad or whatever, you know what I mean?
I mean, he's kind of jaded at that point. I wouldn't say he's as much because he's showing so much more emotions now. Like he doesn't like. There was probably like not only his family died, but there was probably a lot more like stuff in between that we haven't seen that he was dealing with. But the Vistani are like interesting because I think that they're like some of them are good, some of them are like not. Like they're really all over the place.
It's true.
So like I don't know, like literally could be whatever, and that's why the Vistani are so interesting.
Like Esmeralda, I think it is. Is that her name? She was Vistani.
Yeah.
Madame Ava was also Vistani.
I guess
she was kind of helping them.
What it comes down to me is I think Paulton is kind of evil. I guess that's really what it comes down to. He's chaotic neutral, but some of the things he does, I think, I don't know. He's a bad guy waiting to happen. That's kind of. I mean, for me, bringing Simon Murderbot around, the construct that shoots death darts that killed a little kid, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just. Especially when there was that incident a long time ago where there's a battle and it actually darted Strix, I think.
Yeah, that's where it confused me, because before he didn't see Murderbot kill a kid. He didn't see that. He didn't know that it happened.
Yeah.
But when Simon shot Strix, that's when I'm like, why is he keeping him?
That's like Paulton is completely different. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Aya.
Okay, so I have a lot of feelings about Paulton.
That's right. Go ahead. Go.
I say that Paulton has like a lot of like we don't know what happened in his past. Like I said before, he could have been like horribly abused as a child. Like we don't know, and he has gotten so like jaded to the point that like he doesn't care. Maybe like the fourth wall breaking is him distancing himself so much from this reality that he's kind of linking into ours, you know? And like you can see his progression, like how much more active he is in battle now than he was before, or like even if he's like hiding, like he is like he inspired Evelyn more than twice this weekend, and like is a lot more openly like affectionate towards her and like towards Simon. And like Dieth instructs to a degree too. Like he is a lot more open to saying like he's my bro kind of thing with Dieth, which I would love to explore that relationship more. But and I think it changed because he did go over the edge. He became a villain. The Ring of Winter stuff. That like he realized that like he can't just keep people like at afar. Like shit happens and like bad things will happen to him and to the people that he cares about, even if he doesn't want to admit it. I like it's really interesting, and like this weekend was I feel like he got connected to his Vistani heritage a little bit more, just because he's like it's like this story of love and like him with Evelyn kind of thing. Like really, I think it resonated with him a little bit. Probably why he started using his Vistani powers at the end there. I mean, that's just a theory, and just me like being like I love Paulton so much, and like give me something. Yeah. But you know, like
give me all those redemption arcs. Come on now.
Yeah.
Captain Callie in the chat says he's proved time and time again that he isn't evil. The Ring, he didn't make a deal with Strahd. He does things to protect himself and Evelyn and Simon, the people he cares about. My boy isn't evil. He's just selfish.
And he's getting better at not
Captain Callie, I posit that selfish is evil. That is my bold claim. All right, that's my.
I mean,
there is a fine line.
You know? I will say it's self-preservation more.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, there's a line, you know. I think, but I think he crosses the. You know, but the thing about him is sometimes he does things that are a little evil, but he's doing it as a joke in the game, you know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, you know, there's a little bit of, you know, you can't nitpick the character too much because a lot of the things he does are kind of meta jokes and just fun things, and you don't, but like, so it's hard to kind of take the character literally serious, you know, like analyzing the character. It's hard to, in the game world, who is this person? It's hard.
Yeah.
Because he's talking to the camera now, and I really like it. But it's like, who is this guy? You know what I mean? It's kind of a little. Legacy says Paulton's still jaded and not very good at expressing his thoughts or feelings, but after the Ring arc, I think he's trying to improve. He's a completely different everything. He grew so much over the course of the show.
I think it wasn't just the Ring, though.
No.
I would say the catalyst after the Ring was losing Evelyn.
Yeah.
You think so?
I agree.
Yes.
After the Ring was losing Evelyn. Do you mean, like, do you mean the Balhanoth incident?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I mean.
Right.
Because of, like, at first he tried to go back and apologize to Evelyn a little bit, and that seemed like it didn't get anywhere, in my opinion. And then right after that, losing Evelyn just made him go in a rut for a little while.
All right.
And now that she's back.
Go ahead,
I would say that he got like a lot more Bardy after that, if that makes sense. Like he like started using Bardic inspiration, started using his like persuasion, performance, like all those things that, you know, bards should be doing. Start doing them. So think it's probably because Evelyn likes his music.
I know I've seen people in the chat get a little upset when he doesn't use those powers, the Bardic Inspiration. But to me, like, this just isn't that kind of a group. They're just not. That's not.
Yeah.
And that doesn't bother me. That's just the way they play, and they still have fun. So it doesn't really matter. I don't really get hung up on that. But I mean, I'm pretty sure Bardic Inspiration, you can use it a lot, and it's a very useful power. And you would think, like, you would use it all the time because it's so useful. But, none of them are really. It's more just about the interaction between the characters than anything else. And I think that's what makes the show so fun to watch. So it doesn't really bother, the powers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like Bardic Inspiration is like more of it. If you use it a lot, it would be more of an efficiency thing. While this way, it's like, look, he's actually using it. Look.
Yeah.
And same with his Vistani stuff.
And the only person he uses it on is Evelyn, if you've noticed.
Ooh, I'm gonna track that. Let's see.
2 for 2. This one so far this weekend.
That's actually really cool. If he always does, that's awesome.
I don't remember him ever using Paulton on Dieth or Strix, so
I think he used it on Magnus.
Maybe it's because he doesn't.
That's true, he does.
He doesn't. Maybe he doesn't think that anybody else would be inspired by him.
Oh,
that's deep, right?
Yeah, that would be sad.
So sad.
Wow.
Oh God.
Wow. All right, so y'all got any final thoughts on the whole weekend before we wrap it up? Rena, you got any final thoughts?
That was a wild ride. So many things happened. Oh, geez. I wanted to talk yesterday too. It's like so much happened that it's just like, what? And now I just don't know what to say a whole lot.
Yeah. What about Aya? You got any final thoughts for the whole weekend?
I feel like it was like very much like the Avengers of the Chris Perkins universe. Yeah. So now we're gonna be going into the second like cooling down a little bit.
I know. Next time any of them end up on a C Team or an Act Inc. stream, I want them to use their ultimates.
I know. Oh my God.
So much because they didn't use any of them.
Yeah.
Maybe Chris will let them keep them on Tuesday. They still have them, right? They all have those weird powers, right? Evelyn can turn into a sun or something.
Paulton can just punch through the fourth wall and ask a question of the DM straight up. Strix can take the filth around her and add it to the damage of a spell. And Dieth can just protect. Use a reaction to protect.
Oh.
Like Jerry said, he good boy.
Yeah, I thought it was like, episode 100. It was an awesome way to do episode 100. Technically, it was 5 episodes. It was crazy. I thought it was really cool.
It was.
Oh, Adolph's pointing out that the C Team didn't get the bonus in Chris's game, so maybe we will not see those. But
But if they go into the C Team stream,
more C Team.
Yeah.
I want to see that because that would be so fun.
Yeah. So I thought it's just really cool that, like, as a fan, where it's, D&D is kind of like, a lot of people have a hard time playing every week. Most people, they skip weeks and stuff like that. But this show, not only they play every week, but then for this one, they actually added 5 extra sessions with another group, and all of them count in the story. I just thought that was, like, really cool and, like, way above and beyond, like, what you would expect as a fan. So, like, I just, like, and then the nice thing about it is they like doing it, they enjoy the game, and that's why they do it. I think that's really awesome that, like, that's why this happened. The only reason this happened was just because they thought it was a cool idea and they all wanted to do it, So I really like that, and we all get to watch it, and it's like win-win all the way around. And they did it for charity, they raised like $3,000. I don't know if you saw this, But
How many times did the cauldron tip?
a guy donated 100,000 bits in
Right.
Twitch, and and so for
That's a
people
lot.
watching who don't know, bits are things you can buy. So like I think 500 bits costs $7 of real life money.
Something like that.
This guy spent over $1,000 to just donate to the stream, which is like crazy.
So nice.
It's crazy. But so it was just a really cool thing, and it's like I keep feeling like it's a really good time for D&D right now, and I keep getting worried, like, uh-oh, is it going to end? Is this going to get ruined somehow? And it's like, no, I still feels like we're in like the very beginning of a thing, streaming D&D. Like we're still, because nobody has it all figured out yet. Everything is new still.
Yeah.
So it's just really fun that it's like a long-term fun thing. And I think I wanted to ask you. Okay.
Yeah.
So the group is what, 11th level?
Yes. 10th.
So if they go to level,
I think they're 10th.
If they go to level 20, does that mean you think we'll get 200 episodes of this show total? Do you think?
Wouldn't it be like progressional? So like 200, there'd probably be like 15 levels in, right?
Well, if it took 100 episodes to get to level 11, then in theory, it should take another 100 to get another 10 levels.
Well, It's very milestone, so perhaps, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
No.
And maybe like, I don't, it'd be so interesting to like, if they do get to level 20, like, are they gonna, like, is that gonna be the end, or are they gonna start a new campaign?
That's what I wanted to ask. What do you want to see happen once they're level 20?
Once they're level 20, I'd probably want to see a few sessions with what you can do at level 20.
Yeah.
But at that point, it's like, how much more can you do? So it's probably just going to... I'd like to keep the players and see what else they can do in other characters.
Yeah.
If they continue on into a campaign 2 of Dice Camera Action.
Like
I will miss them, but yeah, it's like Critical Role,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would love it to see if, like, in the same universe, like, they become legends. You know, like the great bard Palton Seppa, or like Saint Evil and Marthain. You know, things like that. Like it would be so interesting, and like having characters that like either hate them, like because they're like, oh my god, Strix's the worst, or like really love them and they're like, oh my god, like she's the coolest, or something like that. That would be... I just love, like, I love the idea in D&D, like, that your characters can become legendary. Like, they can become heroes of tales, and like, oh.
Yeah. I'm wondering, like, if maybe one character won't make it to 20, like if one of them is gonna die. They're kind of like, they've all died and come back. And I just feel like things are going to get just more and more dangerous. It does seem like sooner or later, I feel like one of them is going to die, and just be dead. You know? Do you think that's going to happen, or do you think they're all going to make it?
Well,
I want them to make it.
Yeah. As an audience member, and that I'd want them to make it. But at a story standpoint, it might be a catalyst for the others to get to level 20.
Yeah, maybe Strahd shows up and kills one of them for good. Or, turns them into one of his vampire spawn.
See, but like, would like, I think Nate said it this weekend that death isn't like the worst thing that could happen to them. So I think Chris is gonna like keep playing with it, and they love each other so much that like they will go to like anywhere to not be dead, like have them be dead.
I think what would be more interesting is, in order to get them to level 20, make one of them banished via a deck of many things into this one spot where it gets them stuck. They can't do anything. That would be really interesting.
Yeah. It's going to be really weird to see them play different characters, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's already weird for me to see Holly play Dirge in Hell's Bells, but it's so cool at the same time.
It is really
So,
weird to see her play.
And Nate being Pluck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Anna
so much
being
more...
oh shoot, what the rogue's name? The rogue's
Will.
Wilhelmine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being Will in Birdcage.
Mm-hmm.
So really the only one that we need to see is Jared.
Jared sounds like he always plays
He always plays DF.
He always plays DF, but I want to see what else he plays.
That would be weird if he played another DF in the next one. I don't
Yeah, he can't quite do that.
I think this is the ultimate DF. I don't think there's another DF after this. You know?
Yeah, based off of what he's said about it, it's the closest he's gotten to the character. I don't know if it can continue on.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. You guys got any plugs? Rena, you got any plugs you want to plug?
Well, firstly, I'm catching up on my Dark and Dicey recaps. Cool. I'm going to make my goal is to make at the top like a TLDR thing. It's like if you want to recap really, really fast in order to catch up. So it's like a three sentence summary and then like a whole page. And also Aya and I are also going to be doing a 2DM one shot. Hopefully that works out. We've been taking notes based off of today. The best do that.
Oh man, it's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah.
What channel is that going to be on?
My channel, I go under the twitch.tv/IGolder.
I'll host it though, so if you can go to mine too, it's just Miko Karina, MIKOCARINA.
And that's going to be on the 28th of July.
28th.
Yes, that's the plan.
Yes.
Awesome. It's a D&D. It's D&D.
Yeah, it's a D&D extravaganza where all the characters are idiots, and it's going to be a good time.
Their stat rolls are
really
so good.
Really.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Dylan mentioned that he had like 3 numbers in the single digits.
Yep.
That's awesome.
It is so.
Yes.
That's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Rolling for stats can be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably in the world. We'll see.
It's like a 3, right?
I rarely see people play characters with really bad stats. I would like to see that actually. It'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
So come join us.
All right. So let's see. Oh, people watching today on the WebDM channel, they aired the new episode of RPGN, which is like a Sports Center type show where they show clips of everybody's show. And this one was, I know I'm a part of it, so I know I'm biased, but this one was really good. And they got this like, they actually set it up so it looks like they're at a desk, like a Sports Center desk, even though the 2 hosts live in different states, you know? And so it's Lindy and Pruitt from WebDM. And this one was really good. So if you got the time, go to the WebDM Twitch channel and check out the like recording of it because it's really good. And also, if you have a show and you want your clip on it, just send it to me. Email powerscorerpg@gmail.com and send me, if you can, a Twitch clip, a link to a Twitch clip. Longer is better, even, you know, just for purposes of trailing it in and out of the show, you know. So give us a couple seconds of space between the actual content if you can. But that is a way for everybody to check out your show. I don't care if you have like 2 million viewers or 0. It doesn't matter. Just good D&D stuff, you know. So your clip
I'm excited to watch today's because I saw it.
Yeah, it was super funny.
Like, that was today. Oh no.
Really funny. It was really good.
I was like, I was catching up on
too,
yesterday's shows, and then I
know it's too much to watch.
Like in between, I slipped it in.
And we'll probably put some clips from these Dice Camera Action shows on next Sunday's show. So yeah, definitely check that out if you can. It was a really good thing we got. It was a good episode. And don't forget, Tuesday there will be an episode of Dice Camera Action, episode 101. That'll be on at 7 p.m. Eastern, and then we'll do a Waffle Talk after that. Then on Thursday, Waffle Talk will air at 7 p.m. Eastern, right before Birdcage. So check it out if you can. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time.